Greece has opened to travelers from 14th of this month. Greece has been open to travelers from many countries, including travelers from the UK and the US. In an effort to boost travel to Greece, the Greek government pushed ahead with opening the country. But what has been the early results? In the first of this three-part video on Greece's reopening, we explore the opening of Greece to travelers, and outline who is allowed to travel, and what you need to do to travel to Greece. But first, we want to thank you for joining us. Find us on all the other social media channels, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and click that bell, to get notified when we release a new video. We also appreciate your likes and comments below, as it helps to support our channel. Oh, and don't forget to check out our website at immigration-and-migration.com. This video is brought to you by IAM. We believe that travel improves and inspires you, and the people around you. We help you travel by providing services which overcome barriers and frameworks that simplify and enrich your experience. We just happen to be immigration lawyers. So reach out to your IAM visa coordinator when you're ready for your adventure, or already on one, and would like some assistance. Greece officially launched its 2021 tourism season on the 14th of May. It reopened museums and beaches after the global pandemic put a halt to travel and tourism in a country that heavily relies on tourists. This year, it has implemented its own vaccine and testing requirements for visitors prior to the EU bringing in its own travel certificate or vaccine passport. This has been followed by its other Mediterranean and other European neighbors who rely heavily on travel and tourism. Greece opened up borders to tourists from countries in the EU, the US, the UK, Israel, and other countries, if they can prove they have been fully vaccinated or provide a negative COVID-19 test. Despite the lifting of travel restrictions, travelers from the UK are still not free to travel without facing a quarantine period on return to the UK. Additionally, the US State Department still warns against travel to Greece, in line with the recommendations in place for many other countries. The list of countries from which entry is allowed are EU and Schengen area countries, USA, UK, Israel, Serbia, UAE, New Zealand, Australia, South Korea, Thailand, Rwanda, Singapore, the Russian Federation, North Macedonia, Canada, Belarus, Bahrain, Qatar, China, Kuwait, Ukraine, and Saudi Arabia. Non-EU citizen travelers are advised to choose direct flights to Greece. Prior to arrival and departure, you will need to complete a passenger locator form up to 24 hours before entering the country. This will include detailed information on your point of departure, the duration of previous stays in other countries, and the address of your stay while in Greece. In case of multiple stays, you are required to provide the address for the first 24 hours at least. One passenger locator form would be required per family. Once complete, you will be presented with a QR code to be presented on arrival. As of May 14th, travelers over the age of 5 arriving in Greece are required to have a negative PCR certificate for a COVID-19 test taken no later than 72 hours before arrival. The requirement for a negative test is not required for vaccinated travelers that had their last complete shot at least 14 days before entry and have a vaccination certificate. In an effort to combat the issue of your choice of coronavirus vaccines affecting where you can travel, Greece is also waiving COVID testing requirements for travelers vaccinated with Russian and Chinese shots. Out of these two vaccines, only China's Sinopharm vaccine has been authorized by the WHO. But with the number of the countries that are relying heavily on the Chinese vaccines having increasing rates of infections, doubts are surfacing over Sinopharm's vaccine efficacy. Acceptable vaccines are Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca Oxford, Novavax, Johnson & Johnson, also known as Janssen, Sinovac Biotech, Gamaleya, which is known as Sputnik, CanSino Biologics, and Sinopharm. Alternatively, if you have proof of having recovered from COVID in the past 9 months, you also do not need to have a PCR test before entry. Proof of having recovered could be a certificate of recovery, issued by a public authority, or a certified laboratory. Otherwise, you can produce a certificate of a positive PCR molecular test result, confirming that you have recovered from the SARS-CoV-2 virus infection, performed at least 2 months before arrival, and no later than 9 months before arrival. Regardless of the certificate or proof you provide, you may undergo a random mandatory health screening. If you test positive for SARS-CoV-2, following a sampling test, you and your travel companions will face mandatory isolation in quarantine hotels for at least 10 days. The expenses of the accommodation in quarantine hotels are covered by the Greek state. What are your views on Greece reopening? Comment below. If you have plans to travel, check out the deals we found just for you. IAM can help with your visa application to the United States, the UK, and other countries. If you need help with a US visa, a UK visa, or visa to Europe, including help with appointment booking obligations, IAM can help. For more information and advice on US immigration, UK immigration law, and US visa applications, or if you need any help or assistance, please reach out to your visa coordinator at IAM. If you'd like to get more info on travel, visas, immigration, and citizenship, head over to immigrationandmigration.com for more free content. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for more travel and visa updates.